Shalom. Back again with another video. Before I begin this lesson, I'd like to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha, Kodash. I'm going to give double honors to my elders who I've learned this truth from, who rule well. Peace and salutations to you, Akim, you brothers out there laboring, pushing this word out in all truth and in sincerity. Also want to say shalom to you Israelite sisters that may be listening, and also to you Israelites that are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. You may look like these other nations, but your seed line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which is the chosen seed line. So it's been on my spirit recently to do a lesson on the MOTB. You know, I've noticed that quite a few brothers out there that have done lessons on the MOTB, and it seems like the spirit's being pushed out there, and it's in the air. So I think it only be fitting that I do a lesson, you know, and just also speak on the MOTB, because we are coming into those times where that system's going to be implemented on a global scale. So before I get into the MOTB, I just wanted to jump on, you know, other scriptures, you know, as to why we are to do these lessons. You know, it's been commanded by the Lord that the men in this truth be a watchman unto the house of Israel, right? So I'm going to jump to the book of Ezekiel chapter 3, and I'm going to start at verse 17, right? And it says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth, and give them warning from me. So our job as being men of the Lord is to give the warning to the people. Whenever we see these events unfolding in the news, we filter that through the scriptures and we report to the people, you know, the Israelites, the elect, the ones that are diligently seeking the Lord. We report to them. Before the Lord ever sent judgment on a place, what did he do? He set up his men to give the people the warning, to allow them the opportunity to repent before the judgment came forth, right? So verse 18, Ezekiel 3 and 18, it says, When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. Okay, so, you know, imagine this image that you see on the screen now. Imagine this is the watchman, right? He sees the incoming danger. Now he understands, and his men behind him understand, like, yeah, there's calamities on the horizon, like we're about to go, you know, we're about to be invaded, whatever the case may be. Now everybody behind the castle walls, they have no idea of this danger because they're just living their lives as normal, right? Now if this watchman was to see the danger coming, but he didn't give the people behind the castle walls any heads up, like didn't ring the bells, didn't sound the alarm, didn't do none of that, right? And then he took cover, or whatever the case may be. He, you know, he got himself to a safe place. Everybody behind the castle walls would be taken out, destroyed, whatever the case may be. But everybody that was taken out, all of their blood would be on his hands. And why would they be on his hands? Because he saw the danger coming and he didn't give the warning, right? So that would fall on his hands, right? So verse 19, it says, Yet, now this is the opposite side of that. It says, Yet, if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. So let's say that, for example, this watchman sees the danger on the horizon approaching. He sounds the alarm. He tells the people, prepare yourself. You know, there's danger on the horizon. Prepare yourselves. And the people just, yeah, whatever. You know, I ain't preparing. And then they end up getting sieged and destroyed, taken out. You know, this watchman is cleared. You know, there's no blood on his hands because he gave the warning. He did his job, right? And that's what the men of the Lord have been sent here to do. So we've been sent to give you the warning, to let you know the sign of the times that we're in, right? And the beautiful thing about the book of Ezekiel, you know, is that it repeats the same thing. So if we look at, let's say we go to the book of Ezekiel chapter 33, and I'm going to read verse 7, right? It says, So thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore thou shalt hear the word at my mouth and warn them from me. Same thing as was written in Ezekiel 3. It says, when I say unto the wicked, O wicked man, thou shalt surely die. If thou dost not speak to warn the wicked from his way, that wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. If you know the danger's coming and you don't say anything, whatever happens falls on you because you didn't give the warning, right? Now, Ezekiel 33:9 says, nevertheless, this is the opposite. It says, if thou warn the wicked of his way to turn from it, if he do not turn from his way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. So that's the main thing, the main job, the main command that the men that are in this truth, right, have been given. This is the job, this is the duty that we've been given, is to give you that warning. And that's why we make these videos, so you're aware of the dangers, the incoming dangers that are approaching rapidly, right? So one thing that we always like to touch on is that although you've got men out here doing the work, you know, on the highways and hedges, not all of them, right, are great watchmen, right? So you'll have some Israelite groups, some Israelite camps that will tell you everything other than what to do to prepare yourself for the judgment that's about to fall on this place, right? So America, aka Babylon, is about to receive its judgment, right? But you have a lot of Israelite groups out there that are not warning the people to prepare, right? They're not telling the people, like, look, there's going to be times when you're probably going to be kicked out of your house and you're going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be cold. You're going to be possibly sleeping in the woods or something with all the creepy crawlies. You understand? But they're sort of saying that we're going to hop, skip, and jump into the kingdom. Like, no, it's not going to work that way. Things are going to get rough for a lot of people, right? So there are a lot of false prophets out there. And, the beautiful thing about these scriptures is that Yahushua even warns us of this, right? So I'm going to jump over to the book of Matthew, chapter 24. And I'm going to start at verse 3, right? And it says, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? So the disciples have gone to see Yahushua and they've asked him privately, like, oh, can you tell us, what signs we should look out for when when we're at the end of the world, right? And this is what Yahushua's response was. It says, verse 4, it says, and Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. Now, why would Yahushua say that? Because Yahushua understood that there's going to be a lot of deception in these times, right? Now, Matthew 24:5 says, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am anointed, and shall deceive many, right? So you do have these camps out here, these Israelite camps, or these Israelite groups that are not giving you the correct information. They're not breaking the scriptures down correctly. They're not telling you, how to prepare yourself for what's coming, right? They're just, I don't know, they're more like a Christian spirit, that feel-good spirit, When I look at camps, and this is not the camp bash, but when I look at camps like IUIC, and they do their Passovers, they have extravagant Passovers, where their leaders are coming in on horses, women are crying and joyful, and they're doing fashion shows and all this other stuff. Like, bro, I mean, you have to really sort of consider, like, what are you getting out of that, because the Passover was a solemn assembly, like when you think about the in Exodus, when they were having the Passover, the death angel was coming to collect all the firstborn of the Egyptians, you know what I mean? Like, it weren't a let's celebrate and go to the club type of event, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, some of these camps out there are a bit obvious, and if you can't see it, then, I pray that the Lord opens your eyes. But if it's not, that's not your lot, then it's not your lot. You just have to accept that, you're going to be destroyed, right? Now, I'm going to jump down to, let's see. I'm going to jump down to verse 11, right? Just get straight to the point. So, again, after all the events take place, right? You have wars, rumors of wars, famines, pestilences. We're starting to see the beginning signs of those. If you haven't, watched the news recently, we're coming into those times. And it says many, then they shall deliver you up to be afflicted. Hey, we're coming on those times. What about the camps? Where are the camp, the other organizations out there? Where are they telling their congregations, like, yeah, there's going to be a time, a great insurrection when they deliver you up to be afflicted? You know what I mean? Like, where are they telling their congregation this? They're not. Only one camp is doing that, right? And we all understand who that is, right? So, again, this path that we're walking is a very narrow path. And again, I always, say this because, it was said to me once, understand what you're involved in, right? And yeah, and I definitely 100% agree with that. You have to understand what you're involved in. This ain't, just some club that you can join and people are just, hey, the Lord's about to bring some serious judgment on this place, right? So I'm going to jump to the book of Matthew chapter 7, verse 13. And it says, enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Right? So when you look at these congregations, like IUIC, they have a large congregation of people. You see them doing them marches, them soldier marches through the streets. It's all for show. It's all so they can say, oh, look at them, It's all about being seen. The gold and or purple, you know what I mean? Like, it's all flashy and, look at me, spirit. But hey, we'll see what happens with their congregation when all hell breaks loose. Let's see if they're all happy and joyful. They're going to be looking for the true men of the Lord, right? Which we know through the Spirit is Great Millstone. Great Millstone is that the righteous men that have been set up in these end times. They're true men. They are the men, right? So I'm going to keep reading. So this is verse 14. It says, because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it, right? I went through quite a few different, when I first came into this truth, I was bouncing from camp to camp to camp, and they all led me to the camp of Great Millstone. I'm not a member of Great Millstone, but I definitely follow 100% their doctrine because I believe that they do have the 100% truth. Okay? It says, verse 15, beware of false prophets, which come unto you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. And I do think a lot of these other organizations have, ill intentions. Like their intentions isn't anything to do with leading the people to life or giving them warning. I think it's more so to make them feel good so they keep those donations coming in, So, hey, what did, again, what does Yahushua say? We jump back up to Matthew, the 24th chapter, and I'll jump up to the 24th verse. It says here, for there shall arise false anointeds and false prophets, and shall shew great signs and wonders, insomuch that, if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. But it's not possible. You ain't deceiving the elect, right? The elect can see through all the BS, right? They can see through all the BS and they understand, right? Now, in the times that we're coming into, right? We'll start harping on the MOTB because that's the point of the lesson. We understand that, there's going to be a great insurrection on the people that refuse the system, right? And, when we go to the book of Joel, chapter 2, I'm gonna read verse 28. And it's lucky for jumping around so much. I'm just trying to get to the point and not make this a long lesson. But jump to Joel chapter 2 verse 28. And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, your old men shall dream dreams, your young men shall see visions. Right? Now we are seeing a lot of those things come to pass. We're starting to see a lot of people that are, seeing or claiming to see visions, like have visions. There was a video that was recently, posted by one of the elders, right? And it was showing, or it was a man who had a vision of the times that we're coming into, basically Jacob's trouble, So I'm gonna play that, and I'm gonna let you see it for yourself. So check this out.
The mark of the beast is it creates a boil on your hand, and it will happen. I'm telling you, I saw it. Whenever I was in tribulation with the Lord, people were trying to fake this little, and it's a lot like Neuralink. If you know what I'm talking about, go Google Neuralink. It's like messes with your brain, okay? When the people get the mark of the beast, it creates an alternate personality. It alters your personality. It makes you calm. It sends out endorphins to your brain to make you calm. I'm trying to warn you, this is coming. I don't know if it exists yet, but it was very, very small. And instantaneously, when you get this, your body reacts to it. And I try to warn you all that people will seek death and they will not be able to find it. Because when you try to do anything to harm yourself, okay, in any way, or harm anybody else, it sends a signal to your brain somehow and calms you down. It makes it where you are like on dopamine, and it's like all happy, but you're like, they're like zombies. They're not there in their eyes. And I warned everybody that they will use the drones by the thousands, searching the whole area always to see if your communicates to the drones in the sky. This will take place. And if you do not have it, whenever they scan your body and you are basically without one, they send the authorities to come and find you, and the drone stays on you with all kinds of technology like infrared and all kinds. You can't run. You can't get away from it, okay? So it hovers over and it flies around and follows you the whole time until the authorities find you to give you the, or you get your head off, and they don't even give you a chance. You either take the mark or you're done, okay? So
I'm going to leave it there, because I think that pretty much sums up the point, right? But when you think about these things, right, you see that the times that we're coming into now are getting serious, right? We're approaching that hour of temptation. The beautiful thing about, when you're a watchman unto the house of Israel and you're doing the work of the Lord, exactly how the Lord commanded us to do, the Lord protects his men, right? Let me jump over to the book of Revelation, right? Revelation 3. Okay, and Revelation chapter 3 verse 10 says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, to try them that dwell upon the earth. So everybody on this earth is going to be tried, right? So any Israelite groups out there that are telling you, oh yeah, we're not going to go through any hard times, that's for the heathen, it's only for the, mainly, yeah, it is for the heathen. But everybody's going to be tried. The Lord is going to be trying everybody that's upon the earth, right? Verse 11, it says, behold, I come quickly. Hold fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown, right? So we understand that we have to prepare for these things, through understanding of these scriptures. We know that the times that are about to come upon us, we have to endure until the end. Endurance is the key. You know, a lot of Christians will say that they're saved, you know, they're saved by the blood of Jesus, but you haven't gone through the tribulation yet. So how do you know that you ain't gonna fold at the you know, at the first sign of trouble? You know what I mean? How you know you ain't just gonna turn around and say, you know what, yeah, give me that thing, you know, insert me, right? Because we saw in the video that the guy was saying, and that's not far fetched. You know, it's not far fetched what the man was saying. You know, how you got the drones flying overhead just scanning for people. That's not far fetched. You know, the C-hip in the brain, you know, letting off dopamine to calm you down. I mean, that's not far fetched. I mean, we could see that as a possibility. I think in the ancient times, saying about, you know, C-hips and drones and all this other stuff, they'd be like, what are you talking about? But now in our time, we can see the things are plausible, are possible, right? We can see that, right? So again, you know, we're to stay on course, right? We understand that, you know, when we're not to take this this C-hip, right? We're not to take it by, you know, even unto death, right? Refuse that thing. Don't get it, right? Another scripture that springs to mind is in the book of James, right? Yeah, James chapter 1 verse 12. It says, "Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him." Right? Now, we gotta just stay the course, man. It's a narrow course, right? Said, narrow is the way, or broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and narrow is the way that leadeth to life. It's a narrow path that we gotta walk, man. You know, you gotta keep that in mind, right? We're about to enter into the hour of temptation. You know, it's a time of trouble. And I always bring this out whenever we speak of the times of trouble. I always bring this out. You know, this is in the book of Jeremiah, right? So this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, verse 7. It says, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." And who's the he? It's the elect. The elect are going to be saved out of it. But the elect are going to scarcely be saved by the skin of their teeth, right? It says that they're going to go through, you know, like trials, tribulations, you know, being locked up, you know, being beheaded, all of that stuff, you know. All of that stuff's going to come to pass because it's written in the scriptures, right? Now, again, we sit here and we tell you, like, these are the times that we're coming into. We're coming into the time of Jacob's trouble, a time like no other, right? It's going to get so bad that Michael the angel is going to have to stand up and defend us, right? Let me just get that quickly in the book of Daniel, right? So this is Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. And it says, "And at that time," what time? The time of Jacob's trouble. "And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, the Israelites. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered." Who's thy people? The elect shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. You see? Scriptures are plain as day, right? Now, we understand the times that we're coming into. Yeah, we understand that the digital system is upon us, right? Now, a lot of people are just looking at it as, oh, this is a convenience. You know, it's just convenience. Instead of carrying my wallet, you know, I can just swipe my hand. You know, instead of you know, being a victim of identity theft. That's not me. You can see because my biometric says that I was here when actually, you know, I wasn't. You know, abduction, human trafficking. You know, you can't traffic somebody that could be tracked. You get it digitally. so I mean, you know, these people, the people of the world, are being led to believe that these these new technologies that are becoming available are there to somehow be a what do you call it? Be a system that's useful, you know, a convenient system for them, you know. But again, we ain't stupid, so I'm gonna jump over to the book of 2 Corinthians, because again, you know, 2 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 11, you know, what does it say? Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. We understand that accepting that MOTB, the micro C hip, you're basically consenting to this, to Esau, Edom, the elites. You're consenting to them being your Lord forever. Yes, like this is Revelation 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small, great, rich, and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Right? So we understand that this is the time that we're coming into, and we're starting to see more and more and more examples of this system that's about to be implemented in the world. And the crazy thing is, right, it always starts in China, right? So it starts in China, and then it works its way out to the rest of the world. Now, I'm going to play some videos, and you know, you decide for yourself, right?
I'm in Walgreens in Orlando, Florida, and I really must be a small town girl, because these refrigerator doors that have drinks, you know, microwavable meals, it's a TV screen on the outside. Like, we need the technology to look through a window to see what we want. Now we need a TV screen to tell us what's in the refrigerator.
Kristen, I know you're gonna push that.
Go ahead, push the button and it comes out.
It's not dispensing.
I was at Walgreens and noticed the fridge and freezer doors were replaced by TV screens. So instead of looking through a clear glass door, you look at a TV that tells you what is on the other side of the door. So like this door shows you there is Sprite in stock, but not Fanta. And then when you open the door, there is indeed Sprite and indeed no Fanta. But they don't always work. Like this door showed me that there were no Chobani yogurt drinks, but then when I opened the door, they were right there. And when I got home, I looked further into these doors and I saw that other people would open doors where it looked like everything was in stock, but then it would be totally empty. I can't think of any benefit to the consumer to have these doors be TVs, but it definitely benefits the store, who share some of the money from the big ads that play on the TVs. And the doors aren't just screens. They also, for some reason, have a voice assistant feature that isn't available yet. And then there are also cameras. So the screen defaults to showing ads, then it uses the camera to see that you are close and shows you what's inside. But then the camera also apparently scans your face and learns your behavior and will suggest items to you that other people your age and gender tend to buy.
El 5 y el 7, ching. Y el 5 y el 7, mira. Sí.
Now, as you can see from, you know, those examples, you can see how the system's being implemented, right? So it's not a far-fetched thing to understand that these are the times that we're coming into, right? So again, as a watchman, it is our job basically to let you know, hey, these are the times that we're coming into. This is the thing that's steadily approaching and rapidly approaching and will be upon us, you know? You know, all it takes is one major calamity for it to all kick off. Now you can imagine, you know, the economic destruction that happened during the C-19, right? You know, because obviously we had the lockdowns, so a lot of people weren't able to go to work, and a lot of companies went out of business. Now we're starting to see, you know, the beginning signs of something else creeping up. You know, we're seeing reports of that in the news, right? They tried it once before, but here we are again. Now, who's to say that if they don't sort of do the exact same thing that we did before 2 years ago, you know, in 2021, 2022, whenever that thing, you know, was being announced throughout the whole world, you know, who's to say that, you know, if it doesn't happen again, this is trial number 2 now, and it caused that event that causes the economic collapse of what we know as the banking system today, and they implement this new system. They got the infrastructure there. You can see those refrigerators. They you know, they're more digital now than they were before. Like the lady was saying, like, we need the technology to see what's on the shelves now. You know what I mean? And, you know, who's to say people, you know, scanning their credits or their tokens or whatever the case may be with their C-HIP, and they open the fridge and there's nothing in there. You know what I mean? Like, like this system that's being implemented is here now. Is here. There's nothing that can be done to stop it, right? Now, what we understand, right, is that if we accept that thing, right? This is the book of Revelation, chapter 14, verse 9, Salakia, Revelation 14 and 9, and it reads, "And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into a cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb." I mean, you can't get any more clear than that, right? But I didn't want to carry this lesson on for too long. I think I've spoken long enough. But Lord willing, this was edifying unto the elect. And I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Rachak, Wadash. And I'll say Shalom, on to the next.